Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M vending. Today, what I want to talk about in our video is our updated business plan. We're going to call this one Business Plan 2.0. Now, as you recall, when we started, it was going to be a two-man operation, or two-person operation. And I set out our business plan. And then, of course, things fell apart. So I spent the next 6 months after that praying a lot and trying to figure out what I had done wrong, because I was praying all along. I felt I was doing the right thing. God has shown me some things, and we've now got the business plan, I think, is the way that it should have been in the first place, but I let my self get in the way. So here I'm going to go down, I'm going to enumerate the differences, and we're going to set out a new business plan, and hopefully this one is the way that God wants it to happen. Now, the first business plan was a 2-year plan, and remember the phrase that I had, 102? 100 machines in 2 years was our goal. Again, that was my goal. I mean, I felt like that was the right thing, but in reality, it was of me. The new plan is we're just going to place a couple of 3 machines a month for the first year and see what happens. I don't even know what month we're going to start. I mean, we've got 8 or 10 machines out there. But I felt like God wanted us to take the holidays off, and we'll see what happens in January or February. But we're going to go slow and steady instead of full boat. In our original business plan, we were going to use just new machines, remember? Because it was a 2-year plan, and in that 2 years I didn't want to spend my time replacing parts or machines or fielding calls from unhappy people. I didn't want to do that, so I was going to use new machines only, which is a good idea, I thought. But now into the new plan, if we're going to go slow and steady, and we're going to try to build, we're going to start buying new machines. I mean, used machines. And I'm going to do a video on buying used machines very soon, actually. But we're going to try to be the best steward that we can be with what God has given us. And if He's given us a little amount of money, then we have to make that go as far as we can. And if we're going to pay for placements, that leaves less money for machines. So that means we have to make that money go as far as we possibly can. And that's why it's going to be a longer term plan instead of a short term plan. So we're going to go from using only new machines. Now, we might mix in some new machines. I'm not opposed to that. But for the most part, we're going to use used machines until we get to where we want, because at some point, just like in every business and in your own technology, are you using the same computer you did 5 years ago? No, probably not. So in 5 years, when you know, the time comes, we'll probably have to go back and start replacing machines, which in that point, if we're making enough cash, we might be able to replace with new machines. But to get started, we're going to use that's, in the world of business, that's the way most guys do it. And I was just bucking the system, using logic instead of following what I thought God wanted. So use machines instead of new. In the original business plan, every penny that we made or collected was going to go back into buying machines. Now remember, we were starting out with 2 a month for 6 months, and then we went to 3, then we went to 4, then we went to 5. And the concept was, the more machines we had out, the more money we would be bringing in each month, and we could take that money and buy more machines. That's logical. However, that's not what I think God wants. Our ministry is multifaceted. We have real estate parts, we have Bible study parts, we have the prayer box itself part, and we have the vending part. And I feel like, and I've prayed about it, and I'm pretty sure God wants us to take that money, any money that comes in off of the machines, and put it into His account to fund His ministry. And the growth or the business part that we do will be self-funded, just like it has been from the beginning. You know, I don't really know what our budget is, but let's say it's $400 a month. If we start with $400 a month, then in a year we'll be spending $400 a month. We'll use the same money on the same period, slowly but surely, and then what money we do make we'll put back into God's ministry account, so that that money can be used in whatever part of His ministry needs to be taken care of. That's a big switch, because we were going to take that money and buy more machines and more spots and more candy and more this and more that. Now, we probably will need to take some of that money and buy candy to keep the machines going, but whatever's left over goes into the ministry. That's going to be new. In our original business plan, now remember, and I did a couple of videos on this. One of them was called General Brian, which I thought was just awesome. General. But the goal was we had like a battle plan, and every placement we had was going to be a single head machine. And then when we found the one that was doing really good, then we would pull that single and put a triple head in there to get more business. That way we didn't waste money on triple head machines, which can run upwards of $200 plus shipping, to put in every spot that's going to be an average or below average performing account. We just put them in the high performing, and that way we've only wasted the money on a single head. That was the original business plan. However, now that we've changed our business plan, what we're doing is we're buying used machines at the best possible deal that we can get, and then when we get placements, we will put whatever is available. Now, I still want to use in the machines that I've got here. I've got single head, double head, triple head, and I've got one that's a eight head. I still want to use the multi-head machines as a backup for the single heads that are out there. You know, if you get a good performing account, why in the world would you have just a single head? Put a triple or a double or a triple or a 8-head machine there to get the maximum amount you can. But since we're going to be buying used machines, whatever we have available that month is what's going to go into the field. And God's going to be in charge of that. In our original business plan, my partner was going to be doing the lion's share of the machine placement, you know, i.e. going out banging on doors. That's not working out so much, and as I've told you in the past, my schedule doesn't allow that. So I did some research and found a placement company called Kickstarter, and I said this in the last video. Been very pleasant. It's around $50 per placement, depending on the type of machine that you're using. And you know, and they locate the spot for you. They allow, you know, they give you a certain time and date to be there, and all you have to do is show up with the machine, you know, get the machine, calibrate it, get it ready to go, load the candy in, deliver it, and you're done. And that's well worth $50 because of the time constraints on my schedule. So, old business plan, self-placement, new business plan, placement company. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is on the old business plan, as much as I thought it was of God, it was really of me, and I applied business sense to the plan, which is good, but not when God wants to be in charge. It reminded me, I was thinking about this today, it reminded me of the story in the New Testament where the farmer has a huge yield and he says to himself, I'm going to build a huge silo and I'll have enough to retire on and I won't have to work anymore. And God says, you fool. You fool. Because tonight your life is going to be asked of you. So the guy thought he had it made. He thought he was doing the right. And in the business world, it makes perfect sense. If you have excess, you build extra things to protect it and you dump it in there and you live off of that. Well, that's not how God operates. And sometimes that's not how God wants us to operate. Sometimes it is. That's why we have business degrees. But sometimes God wants to go off grid and see if you're willing to follow. I believe this, see, the old business plan was a type A plan. I am a type A person. That made perfect sense to me. The new plan is kind of a laissez-faire kind of God's in charge kind of thing, and for a type A personality, that's really tough. But that's okay. I mean, listen, at my age, how long do I have to live? An hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, who knows? So why would I get upset that God wants to go slow and steady? I'm all down with that. I just have to remind myself that God's in charge and I'm not. And I think that's what the first business plan versus the second business plan was all about. Was to show me that type A, Brian's plan, the world's plan, is not God's plan. God's plan, whatever it is, in whatever business you're in, and whatever endeavor you have, God's plan is whatever God says it is. Now, He may want you to be a type A. He may want you to go full boat. He may want you to do it the world's way. But for me, and for here, and for now, and for this ministry, it appears that I was not letting God be in charge, and that changed. If He wants to do 2 or 3 a month, we'll do 2 or 3 a month. If He wants to do 2 or 3 a year, we'll do 2 or 3 a year. If he was testing me and then we do the right thing for a couple of months, then all of a sudden we go crazy and He wants to do 10 a month, then we'll do 10 a month. But God's in charge and Brian's not. So here we are. We're getting ready to start. We're a couple of days before Christmas. And we're going to enjoy the holidays. I've got most of the rest of the year off, so I'm going to do things like get my house cleaned up and maybe read some books, rest a lot. And then we're going to jump back in January, February, see what happens. But throughout the year, the lesson that I want to learn this year, more than ever before, is God's in charge and I'm not. I hope you enjoy our videos. I hope you come along on the adventure because it's going to be something. One of these days I'll tell you the story about the real estate part of our ministry and the journey. I actually, to be honest, I whined like a little girl to God that He hadn't taken me on any spiritual adventures, and boy, oh boy, did He ever. It was great. I mean, at the end of it was great, but oh my goodness. So that's what we're going to go through on this business, and it's probably going to be a rocky road because I'm human, but I want to share it with you, and I want God to get all the praise and glory. So stay with us. If you like it, if you're looking forward to the adventure in the next 12 months, reach down there and hit like and subscribe, and that way you can be notified every time I do a new video, because I don't have a schedule on these videos. I'm probably going to do a bunch of them while I'm off on vacation and then release them over time, but I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, P.B.M. vending, and if you're in the Springfield, Illinois area, contact me, PM me. Maybe we'll go do lunch. You guys be blessed. Have a blessed holiday, and we'll see you on the next video from P.B.M Vending. Be blessed.